There's a lot of people out there that are demonizing Mr. Beast because he treated or cured blindness for 1,000 people. And I thought that it was really incredible how there's a lot of people with a poor lapse of critical thinking that are going out there and giving their opinions about this, even though it's very underdeveloped. And I was also curious as to know why we don't mandate this stuff, which I ended up doing a little bit of research on it, and the answer is quite interesting. We're going to get into all of that, but first what I want to do is I kind of want to go ahead talk about the entire situation where they're just demonizing him, which I find very, very interesting. So I'm sure you guys already know Mr. Beast. He ended up creating this video, and really quick, I do want to share with you guys the one moment where I thought was like amazing.
I met another young man named Satchel.
Did they tell you I was gonna be here?
No.
Good.
He had poor vision from birth and almost lost his entire vision after a go-karting accident.
Now let's check in and see how Satchel's surgery went.
No, I don't even see any blur.
How are you feeling? How's life been now?
It's been good, you know? I be like looking at the cars and I'm like, wow, I can see that car all the way over there.
That's good if you're gonna drive it.
Yeah.
And I think that the best part of all of this was when they ended up gifting him a Tesla.
Satchel, take off your blindfold.
What?
This is your brand new Tesla.
Which, by the way, the insurance on that Tesla is going to be through the roof. So as you guys can see, it's a beautiful moment, and Mr. Beast is being called the Antichrist and being demonized for doing this kind of stuff. I'm not even kidding. There's a guy who ended up rationalizing this entire situation. So if you take a look at this segment, it says the Antichrist, Mr. Beast. And if you take a look right below it, there's 10 reasons, I believe, or 7 reasons as to why this is the case. You got Technoblade involved. Where's Technoblade in all of this? You can tell that this guy's brain cells are overworked and underpaid. And there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that this guy definitely has a wooden plank nailed to his forehead. But let's just say that, what if he was saying that he was gonna cure blindness or treat blindness, and he says it in front of millions of people and then doesn't deliver on that promise? Well, not to worry, I ended up finding individuals who actually do that stuff. Have you guys ever heard of a guy named Billy Burke? Maybe even Kenneth Copeland? Kenneth Copeland, the guy who got stopped by Lisa Guerrero.
You said that you don't like to fly commercial because you don't want to get into a tube with a bunch of demons. Do you really believe that human beings are demons?
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did.
These guys, man. Billy Burke, an evangelical Christian and pastor. He was given a sermon about like 2 or 3 years ago, and he thought it was a good idea to call somebody up so he can treat or cure whatever disease they had. And guess who he ends up calling to the stage? Big Nick. If you guys don't know who Big Nick is, Big Nick was a part of the squad, that David Dobrik squad, and he ended up getting called up. And I guess this pastor didn't know that he had a big social media following, so he called him up and attempted to cure his blindness. I'm gonna go ahead and let James Johnny explain it to you guys.
Miracles on a Mountain. It's another miracle healing service, and in this instance it was hosted by this evangelist called Billy Burke. And at one point someone is brought out from the crowd, and I thought, hang on, I recognize this guy. It was Big Nick. At the event, Nick tells Billy Burke about his blind eye.
I'm blind in my left eye as well.
I know that, you told me that.
Billy then attempts to cure his eye.
Loosen that!
After all the theatrics, Billy then starts to wiggle his finger around. And then...
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet. And Billy hears that and he continues like trying to help him. And then when he realizes it doesn't work, he then just tells Nick, recite chapters of the Bible every night for your eye to be cured.
So John chapter 9, your confession starting tonight and every night. You hear me? Tonight and every night before you go to bed. You ready? I was blind and now I see.
And the crowd cheers. It's like the miracle actually happened. Now, it's been about 7 months since that event took place, and I've looked through Big Nick's social media account and there's no indication that his eye is healed since the event.
Oh wow, who would have ever seen that coming? Apparently to Billy Burke, not the blind. And then I want to go check just in case to see if he did get cured or whatever the case is. And no, he still has the cataract. And of course, we can't forget our friend Kenneth Copeland. Kenneth Copeland, he, during the height of the 2020 event, you know what event I'm talking about? You know the event, the disease that was being spread around that was easily contagious. Well, he ended up giving a sermon, and I have no words to describe this event.
COVID-19.
on you.
On you.
You are destroyed forever,
You are destroyed forever.
and you will never be back.
And you'll never be back.
They ended up repeating the blow. You guys are mad at Mr. Beast. These guys are the ones that deserve all of that demonization that you guys are doing. And I know it's not everybody. It's just these very extreme figures in religion that are saying all of this stuff. But the thing is that you guys got people like these guys, these pastors, Kenneth Copeland, Billy Burke, but you guys aren't saying anything about them. I don't know, man. I just think the demonization is directed to the wrong person. Okay, now I want to go ahead and get into the whole healthcare coverage thing, because I think this is like probably the most important part and the most interesting as well. Disclaimer though, I just want to say that I am not an expert in any of this stuff. Please don't go into my comment section and say, hey, well, what do you think about this or that? Like, what if this plan works? But like, I don't know all of that. This is so much more complicated than it looks, honestly. I try to take all of the basics and just try to put it into a segment, and hopefully I can do that for you guys. So why is it the case that most people can't purchase something as simple as a cataract surgery, which apparently takes like 10 minutes to 30? Well, apparently it depends on a lot of factors, and when I say a lot of factors, I mean a lot of tedious, time-consuming factors. So first off, it's going to depend on your insurance company. Next is going to depend on whether you have good insurance or not. Then it's going to depend on your income and whether you have a good plan, a good coverage plan. And now you have to find a physician or a health center or a hospital that is contracted by that coverage plan. And then they're going to qualify you to see if your plan even covers all of the problems that your eye is experiencing. And then depending on where you're going, where the hospital is located, all of that is going to depend on how much it's going to cost. It can cost anywhere from $1,700 all the way up to $7,000 for one eye. So as you can see, it depends on a lot of factors. And it's like that with most insurance companies. They have like all of these crazy provisions, these plans, and it just gets really complicated. And most people can't even afford it, because most times what you have to pay monthly is usually anywhere from like $400 all the way to $900 a month, which if you add all of that up, it can result into something around like $7,000, $9,000 a year. And if you want to cover an entire family, at the end of the year, you're looking at around $22,000, which is insane, man. Who has that kind of money laying around? I just want to go ahead and say that it's crazy to me that people are demonizing Mr. Beast for all of this stuff, because everything that I just explained to you guys is so unbelievably complex and is so tiring, that entire process. And for him to just come in, snap everything away, it's amazing that somebody can do that. We always talk about how we wish billionaires, millionaires would just step in and try to do good for society. This guy is that guy. I will say this, okay? Should Mr. Beast be trusted? I think so far, yes. He's been quite consistent with his acts, great deeds. However, though, we don't know who Mr. Beast is. You don't know Mr. Beast. You don't know what he does behind closed doors. I think it's important to be aware, all right? Not to demonize, but to be aware that we are humans, man. We should never turn a blind eye to humans' ability to be an insidious force on people. Because even Mr. Beast being a person of great caliber, we just don't really know him like that. Yeah, anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. And yeah, hopefully you guys learned something today.